In preparation for selling this black Nikon F 35mm SLR camera, I thought I'd make a little video here so we can look it over and you as prospective buyer can decide what it's worth to you. This is a black Nikon F. It is a little bit later in the run because the original F started in 1959 and this one is from 1970 with the serial number 7009831. And it's got the photomic head on here, the prism finder with the light meter built in, and it comes with the 50mm f1.4 fast lens. And I've got a little bit of paperwork that goes with it here. We have for the body, here is the guarantee slip with the serial number officially printed on there. It's the one I just read. And then here is for a photomic FTN finder. I did not find the serial number on the finder on the camera. I'm not sure 100% it's part of it, but this all came together, so I'm assuming it is. And then I have this other little slip here that has somebody's name on it who originally owned it, and it also contains the serial number of the original camera and a little bit of information about it. So what I thought I would do is start stepping down through these shutter speeds, and I'm going to go all the way from 1/1000th to the bulb setting. So here's at 1/1000th of a second, 1/500th, 1/250th, 1/125th, 1/60th, 1/30th, 1/15th, 1/8th, 1/4 second, 1/2 second, and 1 full second. And then the bulb setting where it will stay open as long as I hold the button down. We can see the blades on the lens closed properly. And then it opens up again. I'm going to set that back at one of the faster speeds and try the self timer. We'll pull that down. And that's climbing back up. Oh, gonna make it. A little bit sluggish, but those aren't used very often, and it's a kind of a mechanical timer. Here we can see the stop down buttons working properly, quick aperture blades on the lens. I'm going to take the lens off here, and we can see that as I open it up, I wanted to point out there's a little spot right here that you can see, and a couple of other little spots. This one right here almost looks like a little bit of fungus starting on the surface of the lens. I wanted to make sure I point that out. Otherwise it looked pretty clear looking through it. I don't see any big patches of fungus or problems, and as I demonstrated with it on the camera, that when the lens is stopped down, blades are very quick, and I don't see oil on them from either side, so that's a very good sign. I do have the hood that goes on this lens, and we have the cap for the lens, so those come with it. So we'll set that aside for a moment. We'll look at this camera body a little bit more. We can see the action within the mirror box. Seems to look okay. If we look here on the back, we can see lots of wear through to the brass. Obviously, this is a camera that was marketed to professionals, and they were used pretty heavily. Here we see some definite distress here on the bottom. Some people might even want to replace this this piece, but I guess This is all compatible from, oh, there's even a roll of film in here. Kodachrome 25 slides. That looks really old. Well, we'll leave it in there. Whoever gets the camera gets that too. We can see the film transport's working properly, and the shutter looks good. The back here, the pressure plate looks okay. Definitely some wear through and some bumps and bruises to the back here that have done that. Let's put that back on. The F was kind of unusual in that it's still one of these cameras where the back slides completely off from the bottom. With the F2 that replaced this, it opened up like a more typical. What we're going to do now is pop off the viewfinder, and it typically helps to be able to push this button a little bit and then work this lever, and then it will lift off the top. You got to work that lever. There we go. And I wanted to point out in here what we can see. There's some problems with this prism, and that does show when you look through there. You will see some, it's hard to get it to view here, but there's some issues with the prism down there, with the silvering or the way it's glued in or something. I did put some batteries in the battery compartment. It's empty right now, but I put some in, and all I did was I was able to verify that when it was turned on, that the meter needle did move as light changed, and that's all that I did. So it's not guaranteed beyond that. It's got a split image focus screen in there, and it has this Nikon strap. So we can reinstall Finder like that, and the lens there. We'll engage the prong there, and that's a look at this Nikon F. I should also flip out the little rewind crank to show that that's there and that it's complete. It's a camera that certainly has taken some abuse, and hopefully it can still be put to use by somebody.